and what's in New Zealand is second to none. Europe can't achieve the range that we can, even Australia can't. We have nearly every type of carrier apart from, I think, two.
Alex, so we're here at Wings Over Wairarapa 2013. You're here with a contingent from the New Zealand Military Vehicles Collectors Club. I'm standing at the moment in front of what everybody would know as a Bren Gun Carrier. Is this particular unit an actual Bren Gun Carrier, or is it one of the other variants?
This one here is a New Zealand built LP2A. It was based on the Australian design and built here in New Zealand through the railway workshops and that sort of thing. This particular one is a conversion. It's had special exhaust to stop grass fires, called a achievable conversion, so the exhausts run out the side rather than underneath. And it's also got a tow attachment on the back to tow a 6-pounder anti-tank gun. And this one's just been recently rebuilt by Lou Skelton, and he comes from fielding and he's done quite a nice job on it.
So there's 4 carriers here this weekend. Are they all identical, or?
No, we've got quite a few variants here. We've got a Lloyd personnel carrier, which is like, it's got a soft skin roof on it, and that brought down by the National Army Museum. And then we have the New Zealand built carriers here, and then we also have a English built 3-inch mortar carrier. So quite a range.
So you say this one was a New Zealand built one at Trentham. I mean, how many were actually built in New Zealand during the war?
I can't remember exact figures, but there were quite a number, quite a few hundred built, ranging. We had our own, they started at LP1, and that was based on the British Bren carrier, and there's one of those being restored up in Tauranga by Mr. Linneads. And then there was the LP2, then they went to the LP2 modified, and of course the LP2A. We never got quite to LP3, but the Australians did.
And a lot of people would remember a lot of these carriers from farm use. Is that where most of them went to after the war?
Yeah, a lot of them ended up on farms. This one here was used until quite recently, I think, hauling telephone poles. And so there's a lot sitting under the old macrocarpet trees and that, and that's where you like to find them. There's still a few out there on farms. They were quite a good use of nice flat plate, so farmers would hack them up and use them for other jobs. So what we have to do is find matching plate and weld it in and try and make it look original again. So it's quite a job when you're something quite cut down. One of our members from Taranaki, he's seen one that was so cut up that it was just the welds left. So yeah, that's what we've got to deal with.
So in some cases a big restoration job, and others probably not quite so bad.
Yeah, this one didn't take too long, I think about 2 years to put together, but the one my father rebuilt taken about 8 years to put it together, finding parts and that sort of thing. So it's quite a mission sometimes.
There's 4 here this weekend. You're hoping to get a lot more for the next show, is that right?
Yeah, what we're trying to do is we're trying to break the world record of the most amount of carriers in one place at one time. And I think we have to travel around 2 miles to break that record. And I think the number is about 17, so we're trying to top that.
So how many do you think you'll be able to get?
We're aiming for possibly over 20 to try and beat the Australians.
So why are there so many in New Zealand?
Well, New Zealand, we built quite a lot of them, and we didn't really have a lot of vehicles at the start of the war, so we're buying them in furiously to try and mobilise our troops. So we ended up with quite a lot of stuff from England, And just because Kiwis are Kiwis, they got kept going for years and years, and then put out to pasture and farming and that sort of thing.
Now the record you're trying to break, is that purely a record based on the numbers of carriers, or is there something involved with the number of different variants that we might get here as well?
Well, it's based purely on numbers and the distance that they travel. But what we're trying to achieve, and what I think we can do quite easily, is just the expansive range of carriers that we have in New Zealand. And what's in New Zealand is second to none. Europe can't achieve the range that we can, even Australia can't. We have nearly every type of carrier apart from, I think, 2. So we need to maybe look at importing those 2, and we'd have nearly every type of carrier produced.
Right, so is that a historical thing, or has it just been in more recent decades that some of the other different variants have been imported?
A lot of them have been here since sort of the end of the war and onwards. But it's basically ex-war stock that was here and what we built. A few have come in just recently, but not a lot because of what's already in New Zealand, and they were sort of reasonably easy to find in earlier years, but they're getting a bit scarce now. Yeah.
All right, oh, good luck with breaking that record, and we'll be back in a couple of years to see how you get on. Thanks, Alex. Alex Denby from the New Zealand Military Vehicles Collectors Club. I spoke to you at Wings Over Wairarapa 2013, and your plan was in 2015 to break the world record of Bren Gun / Universal Carriers in one place at the same time, all powered under their own steam. We've seen all the carriers go around the track today, and you appear to have broken the record with how many?
We got 27 today, which is 10 more than the Australians got. So we think we gave it a pretty good bash, and smashed the Aussies record.
So all up, I think there are 30 carriers here this weekend. Is that right?
Yep, there are 30 carriers here on the ground. The Aussies we see got 21 back in 2005. So we smashed their static record as well as the running one. So we're pretty chuffed.
So 27 made it around. How many actually started?
So we started with 29 running carriers. We've got one here that didn't sort of get to the running point. We started our course with 29 carriers, and just shy of our 3.2k, so the 2 mile mark. 2 sort of overheated and dropped out.
And I understand possibly a reasonable cause for that is not that there was any major drama with the carriers themselves, but simply that the course and the restrictions that you placed, you might have been moving a little bit too slow for some of the carriers, is that right? Yeah,
we're moving a little bit too slow. We had to coordinate our run-in with the airfield battle, of course, but that's the nature of the beast. We had to run in with the timings. They were running a little bit late with their program, so we sort of had to hold for about an hour. But I think, on the day 27, we're pretty happy with it. Yeah.
So when do you think you'll try and break it again?
Oh, in a month's time when I get my one done.
So you are happy with the way it's gone, and I mean, how many carriers around the country are you aware of that haven't actually made it here this weekend?
On our list about 3 months ago, we had 42 all ready and willing to come, and they sort of dropped off from there. People not able to make it, people having weddings and that sort of nefarious sort of stuff. Bit of a bad time to have a wedding around a world record attempt. Pretty selfish, I think. But
yeah, there are a lot more carriers in the country, so at some point further down the track, perhaps with another couple of years of warning or something, people might be able to get together and do it all again.
Yeah, someone else could organise that one. But definitely, I mean, if they had another go and they had more time, you could probably do 50, but it's a lot of effort to do, and good luck to whoever wants to do that one.
Oh, Alex, well done, job well done. Brilliant to break the world record, and let's hope that it stands for a long time to come.
Thank you, Alan.